Great. Well, welcome everybody. This is Bill Bittner from IBM. I'll be hosting some of the sessions today, and it's an honor and privilege to welcome you all here to the event. With us today, we have Dianne Griffin, who's the VM Workshop Chairperson, and she's going to take us through an opening here. So with that, I'll turn it over to Dianne.
Thanks, Bill. Hi, everyone. I'm Dianne Griffin, your 2020 VM Workshop Chairperson. When I accepted the role of Chairperson, they told me that running a workshop is easy. We've done it for years. Little did I know there'd be a worldwide pandemic that would affect us all. On April 8th, the VM Workshop Committee was informed that The Ohio State University was canceling all events scheduled for the month of June. Suddenly, our plans, as many plans these days, were disrupted. However, the team felt it was important to find a way to bring the VM community together, even if we could not do a face-to-face meeting. And here we are today at the first online VM workshop. We've been encouraged by your response. We have close to 300 people registered for this event from over 100 different companies. Countries from 6 continents are represented. We're missing someone from Antarctica. We'll work on them for the next event. We also have people from high schools and universities. We're glad to see many of our longtime friends of the VM workshop here and excited to see so many new people from around the world. We believe we have a lot of good presentations lined up for you. You'll hear about the newest hardware from IBM, as well as in-depth presentations on Linux, ZVSE, and ZVM. You'll also get a chance to hear updates from several VM Workshop sponsors. So if you've been attending the workshop for decades, or if this is your first workshop, welcome. Let me give you just a little perspective on the list of countries that are joining us today. Germany, Canada, Brazil, Belgium, Denmark, Great Britain, South Africa, India, Bangladesh, Turkey, Guatemala, Mexico, Australia, Spain, Israel, and Sri Lanka. For those of you who are new to the VM workshop, it's been around since 1977. It took a hiatus, but came back revitalized in 2011 after Len Deagle and Barton Robinson of Velocity were talking and realized they and the community missed the workshop. Technology was new, but not the vision of the workshop. We have a vision of commitment to the sustainability of a platform by providing a cost-effective event that provides a place to interact, learn, and have fun in the process. Historically, the event has been in the summer. Well, summer for those of us in the Northern Hemisphere, June for others. Access to facilities at universities during their downtime helps keep the costs down. The workshop normally runs 2.5 days with multiple tracks and includes hands-on labs. While we are not offering labs in this online event, we did stretch things out to span 4 days. Another fundamental of the workshop is that it's run by volunteers and several partnering sponsors. The workshop has strived to not become just another vendor event, but a true community organization. The core of the volunteers is the VM Workshop Committee, which starts planning the next event even before the previous one is complete. It has representatives from various customer shops, as well as key partnering sponsors. I'd ask that the volunteers please stand up to be recognized. I know we probably can't see them, but it's important to stretch from time to time. The price of the face-to-face events has kept at $100 for early registration since the workshop was revitalized in 2011. The only reason we can do that is the generous support of our sponsors. We have so many sponsors that we needed 2 charts to handle all their logos. The URL shown here will give you background and a contact for each sponsor. Velocity Software, Broadcom, Vicom Infinity, CSI International, and Sine Nomine are all sponsors that have update sessions later today. We're glad to welcome CSI International as a new sponsor this year. On Wednesday and Thursday, we'll have additional updates from Barnard Software, Optica, Mainline Information Systems, and VChain, the providers of Code Notary. VChain is a new sponsor this year also. Welcome. While IBM and SUSE do not have sponsor updates, we do have a number of technical speakers from them, as we do some of the earlier sponsors. We also have Kara Todd from IBM sharing with us in the keynote session as part of this opening. Lastly, our thanks to the teams from IBM Systems Media and Enterprise Systems Media for their support of the workshop. Please thank the sponsors when you see them and be sure to check out the sponsor update sessions. Now, last year we were at VCU, Virginia Commonwealth University in Richmond, Virginia. They, like many universities, had strict rules about food and drink. The volunteers had the duty of policing and reminding people no food or drink, but that was last year. This year, eat and drink whatever you want, but we will be asking you to stay on mute if you are not asking a question or presenting. For those not familiar to WebEx, it might be confusing. If you hover your mouse near the bottom of the screen, you'll see some icons. The mute icon is the classic microphone with a hash line across it. However, be sure it's red. When gray, your microphone is open and we'll hear you crunching on those potato chips or clicking on your keyboard. There is also a participants panel or window. If you are muted, you'll see a little mute icon to the right of your name. Workshop moderators may put you on mute if you misbehave, and you will likely be muted when you enter the WebEx meeting. Thanks for your cooperation. The workshop committee has always strived to foster interaction and networking, not just between attendees and speakers, but between yourself and other attendees. That will be a bigger challenge this year, but we encourage you to engage with others. A way to do that is through the WebEx chat function. Again, hover your mouse near the bottom of the screen and you'll see a little voice bubble icon for chat. Clicking that will open a chat window or panel. Feel free to use this to ask questions during sessions or chat with others during the breaks. Moderators and other committee members will be there to help with questions. You can also bring up the participants panel and click on names to see who may be online during that session. You can also use this if you're having technical problems with WebEx or feedback such as other sessions you'd like to see. Now I'd like to take a moment to thank you, our VM Workshop Committee, but especially the following individuals who repeatedly stepped up during challenging times and overcame every obstacle to bring this conference together for you. Bill Bittner, Rich Smirsna, Mark Smith, and Mike Riggs. Thank you to a team whose, we want to extend our sincere thanks to our team who worked hard and tirelessly to make this program a success. We hope you have a great experience this week, and we hope you join us next year when we return to the face-to-face event. This will be the third time workshop has been held at The Ohio State University, and we're looking forward to returning for a successful event that includes you. Thank you and enjoy the rest of the sessions. Bill, back to you.
Thank you, Dianne. We're also privileged this year to have an IBM executive to kick us off here. So Kara Todd is the Director of Linux on IBM Z and LinuxONE. That means she also has responsibility and ownership of ZVM, Linux, and ZVSE. Right, so it's my privilege to introduce Kara to you, who will take you through a few charts, share a little bit with you, and then we'll have some time for questions and answers. Okay, so Kara, if you're there, please.
Hey, Bill. Thanks. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I see we've got people all around the world with us today. I'm happy to be able to join you. Bill, I noticed that Dianne is the example of people misbehaving had you muted, so I don't know if that was intentional there. But thank you for the intro. I'm hoping that everybody is staying safe and healthy. These are certainly challenging times, as was said before me. Thanks to everybody that put together a virtual version of the workshop. I'm glad that so many people have been able to join. I know that there's an exciting agenda that's planned with lots of deep dives from SMEs and partners and clients. So, you know, to me, that partnership is really essential. Even before design thinking and sponsor users, right? This partnership between VM and the clients is really critical in making sure we're delivering the right content and growing together. So thank you for everybody that's here. I will say I'm not wearing a VM polo shirt. I said this is my first VM workshop, so I may have to add that to my repertoire if I get some VM swag there. So maybe for next time. But if we go to the next slide, Bill, please. Okay, so you can see here, I just wanted to quickly start, right? The IBM Z and LinuxONE platform has really been growing significantly over the last years. And so over these years, you can see growing. And even if I were to even add 2020 first quarter, you would even see another big jump already. And with the light blue and dark blue here, you may have seen versions where it was all specialty engines. This dark blue in this version is actually only Linux MIPS. So this is installed MIPS with the dark blue being Linux only. And underneath that, obviously VM. And this curve overall is inclusive of ZOS, ZTPF, ZVSD, right, and Linux. So the platform is very strong. It's really powering the global economy. There's billions of transactions a day, and these numbers are continuing to go up. You know, I know we've got a hotel chain, right, that obviously with today's challenges may not be booking 1 million per night, but daily they're growing. Lots of growth and transactions being powered behind the scenes by our platform. So the next slide. And I'll also say too, it didn't have on the last chart, but 91 of our top 100 clients are actually also running Linux. So people are starting to expand and add Linux to their enterprises as they mix and look at where to place workloads where they make sense. And the reality is that we're living in this hybrid multi-cloud, as we call it. The enterprises have multiple public clouds, they have private clouds, and they have traditional IT systems on-prem. And depending on the workloads and the quality of the service they need, they're moving workloads to these multiple areas and mixing the public cloud providers as well as private and on-prem. And with 94%, right, having all of these clouds, there's interest in knowing how do they connect all of the clouds? How do they connect it with traditional IT? How do they manage it in a consistent way? And this is the reality of the market, and it's where we are looking to have Z be a player as we need more and more security and availability and resiliency within these systems. So hopefully a lot of you have seen, we refer to chapter 1 and chapter 2. Chapter 1 being focused on public cloud and application-driven workloads. Chapter 2, which we're solidly in process now for a lot of our clients, is really moving mission critical workloads or new workloads and having that as an option to land those workloads that really need the resiliency and security that IBM Z provides. And so we're uniquely positioned for this growth. And we really are talking to clients about helping on this journey. And this is provided in our case with hybrid cloud, IBM Z, and OpenShift with ZVM to provide that flexibility and strength during chapter 2. So I'm going to talk a little bit more at a high level. There will be sessions on OpenShift and our IaaS layer and obviously ZVM as well as others. So I won't go into a lot of detail, but I wanted to talk a little bit about how strategic this is with ZVM as an underpinning. So we can see on the right, I like this image because it depicts the fact that we remain committed. There's multiple choices when running workloads on the platform. So from a hypervisor perspective, as you all know here, ZVM, you can run on bare metal, there's KVM option, and even at the Linux level for these yellow bars, there is choice between our distro partners. So Red Hat, SUSE, and Canonical. And underpinning it all is the strength of Z. And the why running Linux on Z, right, is due to these qualities of service. And with that strength of Z, ZVM, right, has been optimized to simplify the infrastructure, to increase speed to market of client solutions, and really to exploit the latest and greatest that IBM Z and LinuxONE have to offer. And ZVM, as I mentioned, right, as the underpinning is the hypervisor layer available today for OpenShift on Z. And OpenShift being the Kubernetes-based container management platform that's really central to our hybrid cloud strategy specifically. So if we go on. So this hybrid multi-cloud strategy, underpinning it all, as I mentioned, is Red Hat OpenShift. So we are focused on OpenShift in order to enable clients to really build applications once and deploy them anywhere. Building them with the wrappers and intention of where you plan to deploy that container, but it has the flexibility to, once you create that, to move it across platforms anywhere that OpenShift is supported. And one of the reasons, right, as we go to chapter 2 that we're talking about with enterprise level applications, is when you're choosing where to put those containers, IBM Z and LinuxONE enable, right, the flexibility and confidence as seen here with compliance, the security, with the data protection, and privacy by policy. Everything that we've put into the underlying hardware provides a platform that has those strengths inherited when you run the containers there. It's large volume data serving, transaction processing, right? With the newest generation, there's 19 billion encrypted transactions a day, up to 1 trillion if you're looking at web transactions. And as you'll hear in more detail about the hardware update, as well as OpenShift. So I won't go into more of that, but it really is critical. And we are investing quite a bit in making IBM Z and LinuxONE central to our cloud strategy. Okay, and as the platform, this is just a quick view of where you can see systems, and systems on the bottom is referring to both Power and Z, but the overall map of how OpenShift and IBM's hybrid multi-cloud approach is integrating IBM Z, LinuxONE with ZVM as the foundation for OpenShift, and above that, our Cloud Pak. So you can see here that OpenShift would run in the IBM public cloud, IBM private cloud, on-prem, on IBM Z. And the thing that sets IBM apart is this hybrid approach. So we have the IBM public cloud, we have the HyperProtect services, but we also are very focused on the choice. So the OpenShift can run on any public cloud, it can run on IBM private cloud, it can run on IBM Z. And that portability that you get to any cloud infrastructure on or off-prem with a consistent set of services is ultimately our strategy to enable you to have that choice. And the why, as I mentioned, of why IBM Z is critical to fit in here is that ultimate security and unparalleled scalability that it can provide, up to 2.4 million containers in a single system, is critical as we're looking to grow at the rate and pace that we are today. So one of the important things with bringing everybody here today, and why it's so critical to partner with clients, is the feedback and the partnership in design. So I wanted to say thank you to all the sponsor users. This specifically is the sponsor users on OpenShift. There are more than 75 clients already interested and engaged with us for OpenShift on Z. And this is from a first GA that was in the end of 2019 to today. So extremely active for a new offering. There are 12 active POCs and 17 more that are in active planning phases to enter official POCs shortly. And of that number, there's almost 50 that are ZVM specifically, and looking to set this up and get moving. So it's really important, as we're so early in getting all of these features in partnership, that we get all of your input, and partnering with our developers, our team leads, our offering management team to make sure that we are prioritizing and delivering the function in the order that you need to implement it in your enterprises. And the same is true for ZVSE, for ZVM as we work forward. And I know we've got all of our offering managers on here, and there's a lot of sessions. So just please, make sure that you're continuing to give us that feedback, and thank you for those that are signed up. I really do appreciate the time and energy that it takes to give us that input. And it's really what makes us know that we're delivering what you need for us to grow together and make this successful ultimately, and kind of continuously deliver and iterate on what we're delivering. Okay, so another part of our cloud strategy is a new offering called the IBM Cloud Infrastructure Center. This is an on-prem IaaS solution, which its intention is to have fast and easy provisioning for VM instances, which are then consumed, as an example, by OpenShift. So the first GA of CIC was in December, and CIC is working with ZVM. So as you notice, when we GA'd our first instance of OpenShift, we GA'd our first instance of CIC on the platform with both of those, right? OpenShift on CIC on ZVM. So ZVM is ultimately the first hypervisor that we're delivering with our cloud stack for IBM. And I'm thrilled that we have been getting as much feedback and sponsor users as we are. This is a really important to simplify the management on LinuxONE. And I will say that I know there's a session on Friday, and Steve Zadowski, our offering manager for CIC, will be listing new features as well. So I encourage everyone to attend that and to give us your feedback. We're very early in this product, and we are actively taking input and building this out to improve the management and the underpinning for OpenShift on the platform. So, and again, the hardware capabilities that LinuxONE 3, Z15 are providing were, when designed in partnership with you, with clients, was focused on what capabilities are needed to run the business, run the enterprises at scale, and the capabilities and the hardware needed to support the hybrid cloud. Encryption everywhere, right? Our bread and butter is having the highest on-prem security, really unparalleled data protection across the enterprise. So you probably heard about DPP, data privacy passports, which is protecting by policy data as it travels around the multi-cloud. So having that eye to understanding that clients will put workloads where they make sense, but having Z and LinuxONE as part of the ecosystem provides unparalleled security even as the data moves around the platform. The cloud native development, I've talked some, we've got our cloud packs, which are certified middleware, which run on OpenShift, which then runs on ZVM. So cloud native development and really bringing that premier PaaS offering onto the Z platform, as well as the IaaS solution underneath that for the infrastructure with CIC. The high availability and reliability, we are well beyond what we used to call the 5 nines of availability. So it is absolutely critical in Chapter 2 and as the backbone of the business that the system is always up and running for mission critical applications. So beyond the 5 nines, additional core density, really focused on being the best of the best for the availability and reliability for our mission critical applications that we know our clients are looking to IBM Z for. So I really, again, this workshop and the partnership and having everyone together. The strength of that is that you'll be engaging with IBM SMEs as well as partners throughout the week with our offering managers for VM, Wave, VSE, CIC, OpenShift. We've got everybody on board this week. So share your feedback, requirements that you may have, sign up as sponsor users. Thank you again for your time this week, your partnership. I'm happy to see, I saw in the comments when I was first joining, there's some people that had always wanted to join that hadn't been able to. So the silver lining with these virtual conferences is that more people are able to attend and have a voice, which is great. I hope to see everybody in person, face to face in the future. But for now, I was glad that I was able to join you virtually. If anybody has any questions, I don't know if that's okay, Bill, but folks could come off mute or I'll look at the comments. And if not, I will also, I had my email in the front of it, or you could reach out to Bill to get a hold of me, and happy to chat more with everyone. So Bill, to go to the next slide, I think it's just a Q&A slide, and I can open it up to questions or let folks go to break before the next session. So any questions?
Thank you, Kara. Yeah, so if you have questions, feel free to type them into the chat, or you can take yourself off mute if you want to ask them verbally.
So I see a question, what exactly is IBM LinuxONE? So LinuxONE is the brand name for our Linux only high-end server. So there's Z15, the LinuxONE 3 is the version of that machine that is LinuxONE only. So it's an IFL only box with an orange door instead of blue. Any other questions? They've got me ahead of a break, Bill, so I think everybody needs although they don't need the break for coffee since we're allowed to have coffee during the sessions now, right?
That's right. Everybody wants a snack. All right. Well, if there's no other questions, then thank you very much, Kara. Thank you, Dianne, for kicking things off.